In the darkest depths of one of the most dangerous places on the planet, a remotely operated vehicle battles with the underwater currents. But then, this can't be right. There is something up ahead, an eerie shadow. The sonar shows a vertical wall where no mountain should exist, but nobody can see exactly what it is yet. The headlight illuminates an ominous object up ahead. Pictures on the screens start to break up. The image goes fuzzy, and then communication is lost. In one of the most inhospitable places on Earth lies a hidden world. Lost beneath the wildest sea on the planet, the Drake Passage. It is the deadliest stretch of water in the world and has been feared by sailors for centuries. Its stormy waters never truly settle, a place where three oceans collide, waves tower over 65 feet, and 130 million cubic meters rush through every second. It isn't for the faint-hearted. But beneath the treacherous surface lies an underwater world, an alien environment where impossible organisms exist in the icy depths. Researchers lower a remotely operated vehicle down into the darkness, hoping for a glimpse of what lies beneath. From the bridge of the research vessel, the team carefully steers the vehicle deeper into the unknown. At first, there is nothing, only the everlasting gloom of Southern Ocean. But as the ROV drops down further, they begin to pick up shadows in the depths. The radar suddenly beeps. Something enormous appears on the radar screen. It stretches for miles below, and as the vehicle descends deeper, an entire mountain range emerges from the sea floor. It's like being in the Himalayas, only deep underwater. Towering peaks and jagged rock faces come into view as the ROV glides silently along. This is the Shackleton Fracture. It rises up 2,000 meters from the seabed, an active tectonic boundary between two plates, a place where earthquakes shake the oceans, where the Earth's crust bends and buckles, and mountains rise up in the darkness. At first, this looks like an ice-cold, barren place devoid of life. This far down, around 750 meters underwater, the sea temperature is 1.8 degrees Celsius. At the surface, icebergs broken off from the Antarctic ice shelf float like mines in the passage, threatening to sink any ship that passes. The currents are the fastest large-scale ocean currents in the world. It's hardly a place where life would thrive. And yet, as the deep-sea vehicle scans the rocky bottom, something comes into view. It looks like a clump of warts clinging to the rocks, some remnants from a deep-sea creature, perhaps? As the camera zooms in closer, it's clear to see that this isn't the remains of some deep-sea animal. It is a deep-sea animal. The benthic zone, the area covering the sea floor, is a vast and mysterious realm. It is a place where strange and alien-like creatures exist, and the Drake Passage is no different. Here, these living beings have found a way to survive in total darkness, icy cold waters, strong currents, and minimal food. Upon closer inspection, the scientists can see that the wart-like protrusions covering the rocky surface are lace coral. Beautiful in the warm tropics, displaying pink and green, these corals are also adapted to the cold water. And down here, those clinging to the Shackleton Fracture are bright white, almost ghostly, as though they are dead, left behind on a distant planet. But they aren't alone. The camera picks up something else. It looks like something oozing from a rocky crevice. It is blood orange, swaying in the current. At first, it looks like the leftovers from a less fortunate deep-water specialist. But when the ROV maneuvers closer, the gory gunk that first appeared on the screen transforms into something remarkable and beautiful. Illuminated in the headlight are hundreds of tiny, bright orange and white stars. They are sticking out from thick white branches, like a bloody underwater tree. This is Octocoralia, a type of soft coral. Although beautiful, it's a reminder that this isn't just an alien world. It's a harsh one too, and only the toughest of animals survive. So when the camera moves away from the rock faces themselves and begins scanning the sea floor, something suddenly appears that makes the hairs on the back of the neck stand on end. This isn't any form of coral. This isn't gently waving in the ocean currents. This is an alien creature scuttling along on stilts. With no body and 8 long spindly legs, it darts out of the way, trying to avoid the bright light.
For those with arachnophobia, this is about as creepy as it gets. Although not technically spiders, these benthic animals have been given the name sea spiders. They scuttle about the sea floor, searching for soft-bodied animals like sea anemones and sponges to devour. They creep up on them, before suddenly shoving their long needle-like proboscis into them and sucking out their insides. But this isn't their most sinister characteristic. Sea spiders can regrow their legs if they're unfortunate enough to lose one. And there's something even more unnatural about them. If they're chopped in half, their body miraculously grows back. There's a sudden beep on the ROV. The radar had detected something up ahead. It is towering above the vehicle, outside from the mountainous ridge of the Shackleton Fracture. At first, the scientists think they may have discovered a shipwreck. Plenty have been swallowed by the sea in the Drake Passage. But as the team steers the rover on its axis, the object comes into view. A giant black volcanic slope disappearing upward into darkness. It's impossible to see exactly what this thing is up close, but sonar from the research vessel above reveals that it is an impossibly large seamount, basically an underwater volcano. It is a mountain below the waves, stretching 4,000 meters, 13,000, up from the sea floor. The base is 30 miles, 50 kilometers, wide. There is no getting around this thing. Instead, they steer the ROV up the sides of the volcano. Everyone was expecting lifeless, rocky mountainsides, a towering peak in one of the most inhospitable places on Earth. But this is a place like no other. With the strong underwater currents constantly flushing the surfaces of the seamount with nutrient-rich waters, life thrives. It may look alien to the species we are used to on the surface and in the shallows, but it is beautiful in its own right. The light beam lands on something extraordinary. It looks like some kind of plastic or glass that has sunk to these depths. A glimpse of the effect people are having on this planet, even in the most remote places. But this isn't any form of pollution. But it is glass, sort of. Made from silica, the same building blocks that make up windows and other glass items in our world, this is a glass sponge. Its framework is intricately carved from microscopic glass rods, forming delicate lattices that look like woven crystal baskets. But that's not even the most incredible part. With no brain, no nerves, and no muscles, these animals can conduct electricity if they feel threatened or disturbed. It shuts down their body in the presence of danger, an innate response usually only capable in more advanced organisms. The scientists turn the rover away from the glass sponge. They don't want to disturb it. These may be simple animals, but they are among the oldest living animals known to man. They grow incredibly slowly in the freezing Antarctic waters. Scientists think some are more than 15,000 years old. That would mean some living glass sponges today would have been around during the Stone Age, when the last ice age was coming to an end. But with global warming, will they be around for much longer? Small, dots appear suddenly on the radar. Looking at the camera screen, there appear to be several small torpedoes hovering near the side of the seamount. The long, slender forms have long, crocodile-like jaws, large, staring eyes, scaleless skin, and white blood. They are the crocodile ice fish. These fish have no hemoglobin, meaning oxygen is absorbed directly and rapidly into the cells. They have antifreeze in their blood, allowing them to survive in temperatures as low as -1.8 degrees Celsius. Down in these depths, these fish lap up the inhospitable environment. It is breathtaking how some of the most remote parts of our world hold so much life. Life which is unusual and unique, highly adapted for the harshest conditions Earth could throw at them. And we are only just discovering it. With 70% of our planet covered by oceans, it is the largest livable space on Earth. And yet, scientists have only discovered 0.001% of the deep ocean sea floor. What other mysteries lie in the deepest chasms of our world? What species have yet to be discovered? Are there monsters hiding in the dark? The final sonar ping returns from somewhere above the seamount. Something much higher than the summit. Something moving.